Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 7th of July. The first news is new rules to keep advertisement in check. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu. Second, India to hold G20 meeting in Ladakh. Third, panel to suggest certification standard operating procedures for the batteries, that is electronic vehicles batteries. Second last, RBI ease rules to boost the forex inflows. And the last is an editorial, that is India EU global dynamics. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So the first news, that is new rules to keep advertisement in check, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the topic government policies and intervention in the development of various sectors, issues arising from its design and implementations. So recently the Central Consumer Protection Authority, also known as CCPA, has recently issued a guideline to prevent any kind of false and misleading advertisement that is shown in the television. It can be either via YouTube या किसी भी चैनल के थ्रू किसी भी तरह की जो मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टीजमेंट है उसको लेकर के सेंट्रल कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन अथॉरिटी ने नई रूल्स और गाइडलाइंस लाई. This guideline are path breaking because they will fill significant consumer protection gap जो explicitly ज़रूरत थी आज के advertisement industries के लिए. And even you can expect a question in mains examination like the execution plan क्या है जो consumers Central Consumer Protection Authority है उनकी, and even how this is going to be the game changer for the industries. Now the guideline also tried to discourage the promotions of illogical कंज्यूमरिज्म एम्ड एट चिल्ड्रन. स्पेसिफिकली कोई भी ऐसी एडवर्टीजमेंट जो कि इलॉजिकल है, अनसाइंटिफिक है, and this is not backed by evidences that advertisement is impacting the children should be completely banned, right? The guideline perform an essential functions to bring the Indian regulatory framework at par with the international law and standard. So जो global standard follows की जा रही है उसी standard को follow करने की बात की गई है Indian industries में भी. Now definition of valid advertisement, कौन सी advertisement valid advertisement के categories में आएंगी. So the guideline lays down the conditions for non-misleading and valid advertisement. So advertisement can be considered as a non-misleading if it contains true and honest representations of the goods and does not exaggerate any kind of accuracy, scientific validity, प्रैक्टिकल यूजफुलनेस और कैपेबिलिटी. तो ये सारी चीज़ें दीज आर द मेजरमेंट, ये कुछ मापदंड है जिन पैरामीटर्स को पूरे करने के बाद ही वैलिड एडवर्टीजमेंट की कैटेगरी में उनको लाया जाएगा. It must be noted that rather than the definitions what constitute the misleading or invalid advertisement, the guideline has short that the definition for valid and non-valid misleading advertisement. तो दोनों कैटेगरीज को अलग बनाई गई है ताकि जो कमीशंस हैं वो एक्शंस ले पाए कौन सी वैलिड एडवर्टीजमेंट है, कौन सी नॉन वैलिड एडवर्टीजमेंट्स है. Now there's another concept called surrogate advertisement. I think most of you must be aware of this word. Surrogate advertisement का मतलब ये होता है उस तरह की advertisement that duplicates the brand image of one product to promote the product of the same brand with other. Like suppose अगर आप बात करें बहुत सारे ऐसे अल्कोहलिक ब्रांड्स हैं, ब्लू लेबल है, रॉयल स्टैग है, वो अपनी म्यूजिक की ऐड करते हैं बट दे आर एक्चुअली प्रमोटिंग अल्कोहल, राइट? तो ये कुछ सरोगेट एडवर्टीजमेंट के एग्जांपल्स हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल टोबैको इन द ग्रैब ऑफ द पान मसाला. जो सरोगेट एडवर्टीजमेंट है इंडिया में दैट इज मेनली इन टर्म्स ऑफ टोबैको एंड लिकर इंडस्ट्रीज जो कि बैंडेड है इंडिया में. नो दीज एडवर्टीजमेंट ऑफ टोबैकोज आर प्रोहिबिटेड इन द लॉ. नाउ एडवर्टीजमेंट टारगेटिंग चिल्ड्रन, कुछ ऐसे स्पेसिफिक एडवर्टीजमेंट्स हैं जो कि टारगेट करते हैं बच्चों को एंड दीज एडवर्टीजमेंट आर नॉट बैक्ड बाय साइंस. और जो उनके एडवर्टीजमेंट होते हैं, जो कंसेप्शन जो खर्च करके जो कॉन्सेप्ट लाई जाती है, दैट इज नॉट actually helping the children, right? That is misleading kind of advertisement. So another important issue that has been taken in the new guideline is to discourage the child targeted advertisement, right? It goes without saying that the advertisement that tends to influence the child behavior encourage them to consume unhealthy goods and develop feeling towards the healthy goods. You can take the examples of McCain. These are the fried chips that is being sold out. तो ये कुछ ऐसे हैं जो कि आपके एलडीएल को बढ़ाएंगे, दीज आर द थिंग, ट्राइग्लिसराइड बढ़ाते हैं, एंड इवन द प्रिजर्वेटिव फूड दे ओनली मेक द शेप लाइक स्माइल शेप्स और एनी अदर शेप्स लाइक टेडी शेप्स. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली impacting the children mind and they are inclined towards eating that, which is not and which is completely unhealthy for them, right? And the children go on binge eating, which is again creating problem for their indigestion and the sort of problems. तो इस तरह के कुछ एडवर्टीजमेंट से बचने की बात कही गई है. जो न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यू है या किस तरह की मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टीजमेंट है उसकी जो पर्टिकुलर पूरी इंस्पेक्शंस होंगी वो कमीशंस करेंगे. The advertisement state that any healthy or unhealthy claims or the benefit being adequately or scientifically substantiated or any surgery which may have adverse impact on the physical and mental health of the child should be prohibited. Even you can quote the example, there are no issues. आप किसी भी ब्रांड के एग्जाम्पल्स जो आपको ध्यान में आए अगर आप मेंस पेपर में लिख रहे हैं, you can definitely quote that. Now, additionally, the guideline also required the advertisement including chips, carbonated beverages, snacks. This should all cast on the television exclusively meant for children. तो आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे ऐसे एडवर्टीजमेंट है जो कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ बच्चों को टारगेट करके बनाए जाते हैं. However, it remains to be seen whether such guidelines can survive under the Article 14 or Article 19(1)(g) of the Indian Constitutions, which has impinged upon the right for the channel such as Cartoon Network to earn revenues from the advertisement. So again, कुछ controversial बातें भी हैं जो 14 और Article 19 के contradictions में भी होंगी. Now कुछ और reforms जो commissions ने दिए हैं. The guideline has also introduced need to have a disclaimer advertisement that claims to have made such advertisement and make qualifications to resolve the ambiguities and even to explain the further details, right? So they have to everything, any advertisement that is coming in the television, it should be backed by logic and scientific temperament. The guideline also imposed the duties of the manufacturer, service provider, advertisement agencies not to claim and made comparison for the advertisement which relate to the matters of objectively abstaining the facts. Now the other news, India to hold G20 meeting in Ladakh, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the topic Bilateral Regional Grouping and Agreement involving India's and affecting India's interest. Now, this news become important because India would be taking the chair for the G20. We'll discuss that on the later part of the video. Before that, after the China and Pakistan, they have voiced oppositions to India's decision to hold a preparation meeting in Jammu and Kashmir. India ने finally उस चीज को withdraw किया और decide किया that India would be holding a G20 meeting next year in Ladakh. This is a confirmed venue. So if it is being asked in many other competitive examinations, the correct answer will be Ladakh. Now, G20 presidency की अगर बात करें for India precisely. Now, India will hold the G20 presidency from 1st of December 2022 to November 2023. This is the presidency which India would be holding for G20. And India's external affairs minister is set to reach Bali in Indonesia to participate in the G20 foreign minister meeting, which is starting from today. तो जो हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर है एस जयशंकर, ही इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग ऑन दैट. एंड G20 is the world major developed and developing economies which account for 85% of the global GDP, 75% of the international trade, and 2/3 of the world population. A very important factual information. If you can take a note of this, it would be very important. जो भी चीज़ें आप नोट्स में बनाते हैं, make sure you write that in mock test or in the actual examination. These are something which will give your answer exclusivity और कुछ additional marks आपको मिल पाएंगे. Making it at the premier forum for the international economic cooperations. Now G20 members की अगर बात करें, G20 members bring together the world major economies that has a members from United States, UK, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, Germany, France, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, beside the European Union countries. So if you want to check the complete countries, these are the list of the countries. This is for G7 countries. G8 include Russia, and these are the total countries called as G20. Even you can take the screenshot of it to get the country's name. Now, preparation of G20 events की अगर बात करें, Jammu and Kashmir administration has recently constituted a 5-member committee headed by Principal Secretary, Housing and Urban Affairs Development to coordinate for the G20 meeting that would be held in the UT. And as a proposal to hold the preparatory meeting in the international grouping in 2023, JNK has invited a sharp reaction from Pakistan. India is not caring that. Definitely India would be holding the G20 summit in Ladakh. So there will be the first major international meet to be held in the former state since 2019 when it actually the abrogation of Article 370 took place, and JNK was striped off with a special status into the UT of JNK and Ladakh. Now, border standoff की अगर बात करें, we have seen the escalations of border standoff in the eastern Ladakh region between India and Chinese forces, and they have invaded, basically they have involved in the border standoff in the eastern Ladakh since May 2020, and the government had a proposals to hold the meeting in the Union territory that is likely to be seen as a snub to China. तो कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया ये एक इंप्रेशन क्रिएट करना चाहती है दैट वी हैव अ होल्ड इन द रीजन एंड वी आर होल्डिंग अ मीटिंग विद ऑल प्रिपरेशन, एंड दिस विल डेफिनेटली सेट अ ग्लोबल impressions that India is capable and that area belonging to the Ladakh is completely a territory belonging to India, right? Now, the other news panel to suggest certification standard operating procedures for the battery, something important for General Studies Paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So, amid the increases instances of fire of electric vehicles, which you have seen, mostly the electric vehicles, I'm talking about the scooty and the two-wheelers, they have reported in many parts of the countries of the fire. And the government has stepped in a plan to formulate the procedures on the battery certification and the quality control. So QC would be taken care of so that no such incident took place. Now the move will bid to deter such incident which was reoccurring, which could put off the potential EV buyers. तो अभी इंडिया में स्टार्ट ही हुई है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स, और इस तरह के इंसिडेंट आएंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं जो कंज्यूमर के सेंटिमेंट्स हैं इट वुड बी गेटिंग टुवर्ड्स अ नेगेटिव इंप्रेशन एंड दे वुड नॉट बाय इट. बट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज डेफिनेटली प्रमोटिंग द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल. तो इस तरह के इंसिडेंट्स में अभी ज़रूरत है कि हम क्वालिटी कंट्रोल को अभी ही बेसिकली चेकअप करके रखें. Now, formulations of expert panel. The center has formed an expert panel that has a representations from the Visakhapatnam-based Naval Sciences and Technology Laboratories, Indian Institute of Technology Madras, Indian Institute of Science Bengaluru, और कुछ advanced जो chemistries के people हैं, experts हैं, उनको लाया गया. The committee will suggest the way to ensure the right quality of product. And they will come up with the standard operating procedures for the testing and validity of the key components ताकि किस तरह की certifications हो electronic vehicles में जो battery use की जाती है. The committee has to submit its reports by the middle of this month. Now, recent incidents of the vehicle fire. The electric two vehicles in the segment has a main incident of vehicle catching fire in the recent past. And electric two vehicles makers such as Ola Electric, Okinawa Autotech, and Pure EV has caught their scooter in the wake of the separate fire incident. These companies' brand scooters were actually reported catching fires. We have seen that social media, आपने कई बार YouTube से किसी और social media platform इस तरह के videos भी देखे होंगे. The reasons the fire may include the manufacturing defects, external damages, fault in the deployment of battery management. This could be the possible reason behind the accidents, right? और एक और इंसिडेंट हुई थी जहाँ पे टाटा की नेक्सॉन ईवी जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स हैं इन महाराष्ट्र लास्ट मंथ एक्चुअली दैट कैच द फायर एंड द एंटायर पैसेंजर हैज टू टेक द बर्डन फॉर इट. नेक्सॉन की अगर बात करें, नेक्सॉन इज अ कंट्रीज लार्जेस्ट सेलिंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स. नाउ रिलक्टेंसी फॉर बाइंग द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल इन अ कंट्री, व्हाई पीपल आर रिलक्टेंट, क्यों हेजिटेट करते हैं इस चीज़ को बाय करने के लिए. द बिगेस्ट रीजन बिहाइंड इज द consumer hesitation in the electronic vehicle is the lack of charging infrastructure. Compared to other developed countries, India में अभी भी charging facilities जो ports हैं वो नहीं है. Even in the big cities they do not have it, right? तो बड़े शहरों में भी इस तरह की electronic vehicles की जो charging stations होते हैं वो नहीं बने हुए. The highway virtually have no charging stations infrastructure at present, and there is a plan to set up. गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि वो जितने पेट्रोल पंप हैं क्रॉस कंट्री, ऑलमोस्ट 69,000 पेट्रोल पंप्स हैं, उनमें चार्जिंग स्टेशंस बनाने की बात कही जा रही है. एंड इवन द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड हाईवे हैज अनाउंस दैट द गवर्नमेंट इज टारगेटिंग टू गो ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इन टर्म्स ऑफ द न्यू कार इन द सेल्स बाय 2030. तो 2030 तक सारे व्हीकल्स जो हैं वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स आने की बात कही गई है. Now, the other news, RBI eased rules to boost the forex inflows, something important for General Studies Paper 3, Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth, and development. So, recently, the Reserve Bank of India has announced a slew of temporary measures जहाँ पे ये कोशिश की जा रही है that boosting the foreign exchange inflows, including doubling the overseas borrowing limit for the corporate and removal of interest rate ceiling from the NRI foreign currency deposits, right? We have seen the depreciating values of rupee and widening of the current account deficit. So these are the measures that RBI is taking. The move is persistent capital flow and widening of the trade deficit that can lead to the sharp depreciation of Indian rupee and the net low against the dollar. Now, depreciation value of rupees की अगर बात करें, the rupee has depreciated 4.1% against the dollar. That is till July 5. And so far, financially में बात करें, RBI ने ये sets किया है that जो bearing portfolios investment है, capital flows हैं, that remain stable with the adequate level of reserve. But again, जो buffer है against the external shock, that has to be taken into considerations. Now, Indian foreign exchange reserve stood up to 593.3 billion as on June 24 और supplementary by the substantial stock of the net forward asset. तो अभी करंट में जो इंडिया की टोटल फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व है वो 593.3 है. कई बार बैंकिंग जैसे एग्जामिनेशन में इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. Now, liquidity status की अगर बात करें, the Reserve Bank of India has closely and continuously monitoring the liquidity conditions जहाँ पे forex market has stepped up and the need for all segment to elevate the dollar tightness with objective to ensure the marketing functioning. Now further, जहाँ पे डाइवर्सिटी की बात की गई है, कैसे किस तरह से जो फॉरेक्स फंडिंग है, जो खास करके मिटिगेटिंग द वॉलिडिटी, इवन जो मार्केट स्पिल ओवर हो रही है ग्लोबली, इट हैज़ बीन सीन दैट डिसाइडेड टू अंडरटेक मेजर्स टू इनहांस द फॉरेक्स इनफ्लोज while ensure the macroeconomic and financial stability. So this is very important and RBI has to take the burden and take a call that they should manage all the macroeconomic activities and financial stabilities, which is a part of a measures and a role that has to be played by the RBI specifically. Now other measures by RBI ने कुछ और important measures लिए हैं, like the banks have been exempted from maintaining the stipulated cash reserve ratio, also known as CRR. जो CRR मेंटेन करने की बात की गई थी वो हटा दी गई है, वी के लिए एग्जेम्प्टेड है. इवन द स्टैट्यूटरी लिक्विडिटी रेशियो SLRs हैं, इंक्रीमेंटल FCRN and NRN deposits has been mobilized till November 4, right? From November 4 up to November 4, that is the RBI decision. Now to encourage foreign investment in depth, RBI has set the choice of government bond available in the investment under the fully accessible route in all issuance of the GSAC, that is the government securities, अलग-अलग time tenors के लिए होती है, including the issuance of 7.10 like GS 2029 and 7.54 for the GS 3036, that is for the specific securities. These are some of the technical terms, I mean technicalities. आपको इतनी ज़्यादा इसमें ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. जो important measures हैं वो आपको पता होने चाहिए. The RBI also issues a temporary double of the annual limit for the external commercial borrowing, that is ECB, that is 1.5 billion or its equivalent. So these are some of the important steps or measures taken by the Reserve Bank of India. Now moving to the editorial of the day, that is India EU with the global dynamics, something important for General Studies Paper 2, effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. Now under this editorial, the main theme of this editorial is India EU global dynamics, and I'll be simplifying this editorial under 5 important subheads, that is European Union Green Deals, CBAM के क्या concerns हैं और carbon pricing systems कैसे काम कर रही हैं, concerns over the CABM, India and European Union की क्या relations है, trade relations, and the way forward. So with the carbon neutrality being the byword to the sustainable world, कुछ host of countries की अगर बात करें, नॉर्वे, स्वीडन, यूनाइटेड किंगडम, फ्रांस, जापान, जर्मनी, Canada, Costa Rica, and United States, Brazil, India, China are among the countries that themselves are looking forward for the net zero targets in the middle or the later of this century. India ने specifically net zero emissions की जो target है वो 2070 तक achieve करने की बात की गई. Most of the countries are looking forward to achieve this target by 2050, right? यूरोपियन यूनियन की अगर डील की बात करें, यूरोपियन यूनियन ग्रीन डील, यूरोपियन यूनियन इज द फर्स्ट कंट्री दैट कमिटेड टू अचीव all this target by 2050, and it has bought up the European Union Green Deal in such last year, where the new growth strategy aims at transforming the EU society and in far wealthy one of the modern resource efficient and competitive economy. तो इस पूरे कंट्रीज में जो सबसे पहले 2050 तक कंट्रीज पहुंचनी चाहती है वो यूरोपियन यूनियन की कंट्रीज है जिन्होंने यूरोपियन यूनियन ग्रीन डील बनाई है. Now, there's a CBAM concept, which is known as Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. So, this is regarding the carbon pricing system. To attain the carbon neutrality, European Union has set fourth intermediate target and it has brought fifth for 55 package that is culminating for 2030 climate targets. Now, इस policy के through कुछ plan की गई है, that is the introductions of Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. एक carbon pricing system है that is proposed by the European Union. Now, CBAM suggests that taxing the imported good based on the differential between the carbon used in the productions of the domestic and imported goods. तो ये दोनों की जो difference है वो उसके through taxation को भी calculate की जाएगी. Now, concerns over CBAM. So, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism is intended to reduce the carbon leakage, create a level playing field for the EU producers, and encourage the producers in other countries to adopt a cleaner technology. अब बहुत सारे ऐसे countries हैं जिन्होंने इस चीज़ को लेके concerns भी raise किया and developing countries have raised concern over the legality of CBAM and the conflict over the WTO issues and even the United Nations जो framework है उसके norms किस तरह से इनको encourage करेगी and even for more other countries जो commitment है क्या वो इससे पूरी हो पाएगी उनके लिए नहीं, ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल होगा. Now, developing countries has also flagged the use of revenue collected from the CBAM. जो revenue collections होगी उसके distributions किस तरह से होंगी और countries को उससे कैसे मदद मिलेगी. These are some of the concerns that were raised by the countries. Now, India और EU की अगर बात करें trade को लेकर के और भी सारे values में, so India and European Union share a healthy trade relations, and EU is India's third largest trading partner, while India is EU 11th largest trading partner. This is again factually important. Now, in 1920, EU trade accounted for 63 billion, that is 11.1% of Indian trade, and the total is 1.9 of the EU total goods in 2020 that come from India. India export almost 14% of its global export to the European Union. Now, some data, India's bilateral trade अगर EU की बात करें, आप देख सकते हैं कौन कौन से countries में EU के total values में. Germany is the number one, followed by Switzerland, then Belgium, Netherlands, France, and other countries. So these are the export value for 2016-17, and this is for 2021. Now, what is a way forward? Conclusion that you can even write in mains paper. Suppose आप इस तरह के अगर सवाल को attempt करते हैं, किस तरह से way forward होनी चाहिए. First, you can write. Recently, there has been increasing initiatives to form both sides to deepen the engagement with each other. And the target to finalize the FTA, that is the Free Trade Agreement, has been set for 2023 and 2024. The government has already set some MOUs. Now, both India and US are committed to climate change. Recent progressive in the EU alliance open a prospect for the customized partnership and mutual growth. And India and EU can operate in a better way by investing in cleaner and greener technology and helping to clean up the productions in India. So सस्टेनेबल एनवायरनमेंट के लिए इंडिया ने EU के साथ जितनी इंपॉर्टेंट नेगोशिएशंस हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रमोटिंग क्लाइमेट ओरिएंटेड बेसिकली इनिशिएटिव्स जहाँ पे ग्रीन और क्लीन एनर्जी को प्रमोट किया जाएगा और ये ऐसी भी चीज़ें होनी चाहिए जहाँ पे दोनों कंट्रीज मिलके क्लीन और ग्रीन एनर्जी को प्रमोट करें. दिस इज हाउ यू कैन कंक्लूड योर वे फॉरवर्ड. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday question. The first option is B, that is question number 1. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको बताना है Taiwan 1 किस particular countries ने किया है. Mission is conducted by China for its orbit for the Mars. This is the first successful journey by any other planet. You have to check the correct option for this question. Now, the second is the National Coal Index. This is launched by Niti Aayog, and this will help the commercial auction of the coal on the revenue share basis. If you know the correct answer, it's very good. If not, you have to check for the correct options. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.